My hand's stable, I feel able to turn the tables. I could do this, just keep moving, keep your hands up, stupid. I feel lucid, a new viewing. I can see the end, I can see my future, I can view it. It's right there for the taking. Everything I've ever wanted, dreams are just waiting. I just gotta fight for it, willing to die for it, willing to like sort of.
Hey, greetings from the year 3000, it still sucks. This is Philip J. Price, and you're listening to the Drunken Turkey Show, your one stop for this sort of thing. Hit that button, like and subscribe. You know what to do, just like every other podcast.
Just like every other podcast. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the DT Show. For those that were here on the last one, welcome back again. For those that are brand new and you missed the earlier show, I think you missed a good one. Make sure you go and check it out after tuning into today's conversation and topic. And so today we're going to be going back into the Melodee Buzzard case, missing disappearance. Melodee Buzzard, 9-year-old little girl from Lone Poke, California, went missing early October last month under some suspicious circumstances. And tonight we're going to be joined by Dr. Jamie Vona, who's going to tell us a little bit more about, well, give us her opinion on some of the things that have come out. How's it going, Dr. Vona? Welcome to the show. You're muted.
Hi, here I am. I'm sorry. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm excited to be here for this one. I'm up to date on this, so that's good.
You're up to date. That is good. So there's been a lot of stuff that's happened. So some suspicious circumstances that have gone on in this case. Little girl, Melodee Buzzard, goes missing after school officials ask to, see Melodee Buzzard. Apparently, she ended up disappearing on October 9th, or last seen October 9th, on surveillance after her mom took her on a long trip. And now there's some things that have been brought to light. So recently, she's been arrested. Now, I speculated why it was or why they arrested her and things of that nature. And we now know the answer. And let me bring up this. Have you seen this? Oh, oops, wrong one. This is the well, I gotta actually share it. Give me 1 second.
In the meantime, hi to everyone in chat that's saying hi.
Yes, hi everyone. All right, so she was arrested for false imprisonment. Now there's a guy named Tyler Brewer. He's a paralegal. This is the person who was the victim in her false prison arrest, or false, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, kidnapping, basically.
Yes.
Imprisonment. There you go.
Imprisonment. That's the word, imprisonment.
Oh my gosh. I just came off of another show, guys. I apologize. So with that being said, have you read this? Have you seen this?
This right here, no.
Okay.
Maybe I'm not as up to date as I thought I was.
All right. So this is from Tyler Brewer. He was the victim in the false imprisonment case. We'll read about this, and then we'll talk about some of the more recent information that has been dropped. So this goes on to say, due to widespread public speculation surrounding an active missing child investigation, I am issuing a limited statement to ensure accuracy and to protect the integrity of the case. When Melodee was reported missing, I contacted Ashlee Buzzard solely to offer assistance in locating a missing child. I am a legal document assistant process server. Man, the only process server I've ever known. And I don't mean to make light of anything, but have you ever seen the movie Pineapple Express?
Yes. Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Wasn't Seth Rogen, his role was a process server?
That's
what I think of. Mandated reporter and officer of the court. In that capacity, I immediately reported all concerning communication and inconsistencies directly to law enforcement. On November 6th, during an interaction at her residence, so this is November 6th is when this occurred, after the disappearance, after the investigation had already started into Ashlee Buzzard looking for Melodee Buzzard. It goes on to say that At her residence, the situation escalated. Miss Buzzard became visibly distressed. After sharing information she appeared to regret disclosing. So she slipped. She said something. A box cutter was produced by her, and despite multiple requests to be allowed to exit the home, I was not immediately permitted to leave. The door was secured by several locks, which delayed my ability to exit. The incident was reported to law enforcement. All righty, Dr. Vona, what are your thoughts on this incident here?
So I did know about this. I don't know why I said I didn't see this. So for this, I think that he obviously, in my opinion, must have been scared in some sense, or saw a side of her that he was afraid of, because he like goes to the police right after this. And I think he said that he was going to talk to her to try to get like information out of her. So that's, and apparently he was going over there, not just that time, like he was going over there more frequently to see if she was okay and stuff, and to get information out of her. So he must have been fearful enough that he like felt the need to go right to the police. He like
very much so
into letting him leave at some point.
What do you think about her actions? What does this say about her, the possibility of her becoming violent?
So this is what I would say for here. Obviously, I don't know exactly yet. I haven't seen enough. But what I'm getting so far is I think there's mental illness here. I really do. In my opinion, from what I've seen so far, it could go one of two ways. We could either be going down, like somebody could say she's, down that like personality disorder thing that we usually see with other cases, or we might be going down a different road, such as like postpartum psychosis. Even though it's 9 years later, if you don't get that taken care of, it doesn't often just go away. But there's also things like, I think she has bipolar disorder, and she might have undiagnosed PTSD from her partner dying 9 years ago. So it might seem like such a long time, but those things linger. So I have a feeling that we might be seeing some paranoia of some sort. Therefore, something more like psychosis than like a personality disorder, what we usually see with a lot of the other cases.
Do you think the threat with a box cutter is a sign that she could become violent?
Yeah. Yes, because the fact that I feel like it's one thing to threaten someone. It's another thing to pull out a weapon and threaten someone. So I feel like that is more premeditated, or like where your knife is type thing, as opposed to her just being like, if you say something, I'm going to do this or that. Yeah. What do you think?
It talks a lot about the instability. I think that it says that she slipped something that she didn't want to disclose. It sounds like, I guess he's done some other interviews. Give me 1 second. I need to.
Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry about that. It sounds like she had spoken with he had spoken with other members of the media. And what it sounds like the slip was that Melodee was in Utah with somebody, that she left Melodee in Utah. And so why would that cause, there seems to be a lot of great worry about Melodee being in Utah and him knowing that she's in Utah. And to the point where she brandished a weapon and threatened him. And so I grow from more concern. This is more concern to me than anything else. I know a lot of people are saying that this is a sign that she might be alive. I see more concern here.
So at first I was thinking about it and I'm like, ooh, like this little girl could still be alive. And then I thought about it and I'm like, if she was alive, wouldn't, like, especially now that she's been arrested, wouldn't you like say something? And my other thing is it's like, this is a national story. So I feel like, people all over know about the story. If I was the friend that she dropped her off with, I would definitely have called already and been like, you guys, she dropped her off with me. I have her. I'm going to be taking care of her. So I feel like that's like a bad sign.
I do too.
I also think we might be dealing with, and this is just, I'm going to go off on a limb here, but I think I'm like feeling it like big time. If she did do something to this kid, that would be familicide, where you're killing your child. Sometimes people do that as almost like revenge, or like as a way to go against something else. I don't know if you noticed, but is it me or does the kid look exactly like her dad? And I feel like she probably had high hopes that her and him were going to like live happily ever after. And then he dies in this accident, this tragic accident. And I think she already at the time had undiagnosed, in my opinion, postpartum depression. And I think that just like that added post-traumatic stress on top of it, so on and so forth, which then I think would probably make her not form the same attachment that maybe you or I form with our children. And that's like a big deal, like 9 years later. I also think I looked into it, and she also had a tragedy at 9 years old. Right. And so that also makes a connection for me as well. Was this something that, turned that on for her, where she had like a flashback of some sort, or whatever the case may be? So I think we're going to find a connection to all of it.
Like the movie K-Pax.
I didn't see that one.
You haven't seen K-Pax?
Mm-mm.
You got to see K-Pax. K-Pax is a good movie. It's about it's an older movie. It's with Kevin Spacey before he went crazy. But in the movie, he was crazy. It's a sci-fi movie where he's a mental health patient, and he claims to be from a different place. And you got to watch it. You got to watch it. I think you'll understand what I'm saying. I think you might enjoy the movie as well. It's a pretty good one.
Definitely will. You'll have to text me the name of it after, because I'll forget. But somebody said something about Lori Vallow, and I'm totally with that. So you know how like with Lori Vallow, I really think with her that she has mental illness. Like I think she has, wait, that just reminded me of something, you guys. We might be looking at paranoid schizophrenia.
Right.
I need to think about that. Because in my opinion, Lori Vallow has some sort of paranoid schizophrenia or psychosis of some sort. We might be looking at schizophrenia here, you guys, along with some of those other things that together make for, somebody to feel paranoid and do something that they probably wouldn't have done had they been treated.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And to me, I think the whole scenario there with the license plates, the wigs, everything that she's been doing to disclose or hide, her location and things of that nature, and this trip that she went on, they arrest her for something that happens on November 6th. So that tells me that law enforcement couldn't find anything that trip. They couldn't find anything to arrest her on that trip or anything else, for that matter. You know what I mean? So
this was only a week ago, the 6th.
Correct. So, they've been, they were investigating this for 3 weeks before that. And they were obviously aware of this trip. Why she took the trip, I'm sure they don't. They probably got more questions or answers than we do, but whatever answers they got, they couldn't stick something to arrest her with. So I don't know if they've found anything criminal about the trip that they could find evidence from, I guess, the planning and stuff like that. I'm probably not making sense. Am I making sense?
You're making total sense here. Do you think that one of the reasons that they arrested her is so that they could do like a forensic analysis on her phone? Like, wouldn't they get probable cause to search her phone if they arrested her for that? For what they arrested her for? Or no? Because I'm thinking, could this be like a ploy for the FBI and stuff to get her phone and see where she's, like her technology, what that says?
They probably could have done it without it, without the arrest, but the arrest obviously.
But they didn't, do they?
I don't think so. I don't know. Not that we're aware of. Let me put it that way. I'm sure that there's a possibility. I just don't know if those things become public record right away. You know what I mean? And they very well may have applied and gotten other warrants. I think we're aware of some search warrants on the house because people have visibly seen them enter the building, but I don't know if anybody's actually got any documentation. Now there is documentation on the arrest with Tyler there with the box cutter. That is now out there to a certain extent, but the search warrants aren't. So you know, is it that we know about the other searches because somebody could visibly see, the search happening? And maybe perhaps there's other searches that we just don't know about because they're not visible. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't have more like technology stuff yet. Or maybe they do and we just don't know it. But
Well,
wouldn't they have found something though?
see, that's the thing. They have the vehicle, right? And that vehicle is going to have GPS. It's going to have a the ECU, the computer. They're going to be able to look at key cycles. How long the vehicle was turned on for, turned off, if it was sitting somewhere. I mean, there's going to be a lot of information that they should be able to pull out of there.
Aren't they going to have to like go to like where they would think that she would fuel up and stuff and see if they could find anybody that saw her or anything like that? Because aren't they going to try to map where she went?
Yeah, and they actually do have somebody who did see her. Let me a possible sighting, and so let me pull that up now.
It was a gas station attendant or something.
Yes, it was a gas station attendant. So
I told you I did my research.
Let me pull that up and we'll watch that real quick. And then I'm going to unmute that. You're going to need to mute yourself. So this is what the gas attendant said.
Huffman stopped at the Phillips 66 gas station in Junction, Utah. And here's what one employee told her when the FBI came looking.
It was really, really freaking weird because she just like opened the door at the store and like halfway poked her head in and then said, "Did you guys know you have a whole bunch of kittens out here?" And I was kind of surprised. And I said, "Yeah, we have a whole bunch of little feral kittens." And she said, "Okay." And then she turned around and got back in the car with the lady with the purple hair. And I was actually on the phone with my husband at the time. And I remember saying, "These two really weird ladies just came in and made a comment about the cats." And but that is like the majority of what I remember right there.
Do you have any sort of estimate on how old the woman with the purple hair was? Like whether that was someone younger or older?
She had to be probably late 20s to mid 30s would be my guess.
Okay. And did you see
another adult woman?
Okay. And did you see any signs of a child or no?
No. There's nobody else in the car that I could see.
All righty. So there is a gas attendant that was on the Utah, border or on the drive in Utah that claims that she may have had an interaction with Ashlee Buzzard. So there's three possibilities in my opinion here. Either the scenario happened exactly as she said it was, where she saw Ashlee and another lady that was between 20 and 30 years old, and they drove off after talking about the feral cats. Well, remember, she was on the phone as well. And so, or she's completely inaccurate, and the person that she spoke to may not even have been that day, because it's not like this is information they asked her about the day before. This is several, a week later at the minimum from when the time that this becomes a media thing and law enforcement and perhaps media are going out there and talking to people. So this isn't something that's very recent. Could she have been mistaken, completely mistaken? And then the third possibility that it was Ashlee, but some of the information she may not be completely accurate about. Do you think
it was probably the kid?
Correct.
That's what I think. I think it was the kid, and I think that we just don't see kids in our head as wearing wigs. So I think the fact that it was like a purple wig stood out, and I think that also her wig stood out. The woman said, and my thing is, I think it was the kid.
I do too.
And I think it was her. I think she did see her.
Now, here's the thing about that. That's really on the way back. So she went as far north up as Nebraska. And then so coming back and coming through this area, she still has her there. So this is why my question had kind of been about the intention of the trip. Was the intention of the trip to hide Melodee or to get rid of her, or whatever the case may have been, hand her off to somebody else? if it was, wouldn't that mean that, like, why is she going all the way to Nebraska if that handoff is happening in Utah?
Well, I would think that she would think if this was like plan type thing, I would think that she would do it on the way back to throw people off, because I think she would think that they, and didn't she take like a different way or something than she did the way down? Like she didn't come back the exact way. She came back a different way. So I don't know. That's what makes me like concerned about, like, is there like a personality disorder where she is like antisocial personality and like thought this all out? Or could it have been something where they went on like the spur of the moment type thing? She was on the phone, so maybe she was like talking to somebody or met somebody online type, and maybe something happened on the way home and she just covers it up. I don't know. What do you think?
My fear is that she was having some sort of mental breakdown, and
Oh,
that,
definitely.
Given the newest information about, what she went through as a child as well, which I'm going to bring up here in a second. And we're going to look at, given that information as well, my fear is that she left her somewhere to get picked up by somebody that didn't exist.
That is 100% a very viable possibility. That's what I meant by she was on the phone with someone, I think. And there's plenty of people that fall in love with people that they think they're going to meet, and the person doesn't exist. And sometimes they'll even do things like get you to send them money. I know of someone that's going through this right now, and she refuses to see that it's not a real person. And I feel like, I hope that she figures it out before this, whoever it is, takes all of her money. So my thing is, could it have been something like that? And if she just left her off somewhere, I mean, could this kid still be alive? Or do you think like with the elements and stuff?
Well, I mean, there's two things, right? I mean, she could have been like, somebody could have contacted her and manipulated her into thinking that Ashlee's in danger, and I know that Melodee's in danger and that she needs to give Melodee to them. All right. So that's one possibility. Another possibility is that she could have made everything up in her head, and she thinks there's somebody that doesn't exist at all, and she left her somewhere.
Imagine. But I feel like, don't you feel like the kid was old? And like, I think that it's weird that the picture she gives the police is a couple years old. I feel like it looks like, It doesn't even really look like the kid. So I felt like that was weird. She had to have a more recent picture. So that kind of threw me off. Like, there's so many things that she does, like with the signs, how she takes the signs down. Like, who does that? If your kid's missing, why would you want the signs to come down? So like, she definitely does like suspicious things. But then I try to like, I think about it and I'm like, a lot of these things are like mental illness related too, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I'm kind of concerned about that one where if she met somebody online or somewhere like that, and they convinced her into something and manipulated her into thinking that she needed to hand her off and that she's safe and not to tell the police because they're just going to take her away. They may even use the situation that she was going through, with the school district calling and trying to ask, like, oh, this is the first step. They're going to take your kid away. They're going to put you in jail. They're going to do all these things. And they convince her now. Once they get a hold of her phone and stuff, now I would assume they'd be able to at least somewhat figure out how to trace back at least who she was talking to through some means. I don't know. I mean, these trafficking situations they can be, sophisticated.
Yeah, and they happen. I think it's also important to note, I don't know if you noticed, but she lost like a ton of weight in the past year. And she looked like, whenever she goes out, she looks like she's all dolled up. Like she's going, like, where are you going? Who are you going to meet? Like, who do you think you're going to meet type thing? Even if you look at her, when her and the kid go in and rent the car, I'm like, what is she wearing those white heel boots for? And if you notice the kid, when they showed it on one, it might have been Ashlee Banfield, they showed it from both angles, the video, and you see the little girl like smiling. She's like, and it almost looks like her mom told her, like, you better smile. It looks like a fake smile almost, like as if the kid was like forcing it. Kind of like there too. Oh, look, you have it. So look at that. Say it.
Yeah.
It looked like she looked at the lady like, and if you look at it from the other, somebody had it from the other angle too, and you could see it there too. It was just, I don't know. That was concerning.
Huh.
But like, where's this mother going all dolled up like that? Like, to me, that's what makes me like think that you could be right about her thinking she's going to meet somebody.
Yeah.
What if she just didn't want to do the mother thing anymore? Or what if this little kid reminded her of that ex and this was her way of just like starting anew? Crazier things have happened.
It could be. You know, that would also explain the weird route too. Maybe somebody is telling her, hey, I want you to go all the way up to this place and then come all the way back down. You know what I mean? Change out your license plate, find this, do that. I'm wondering if that's what we're looking at. Somebody manipulated her into thinking, you know, if she's got some mental health issues and
she did have a child removed already.
Mm-hmm.
So she might have been afraid that, because I think that this guy's the grandparents tried to get rights at some point, but they didn't. They weren't able to. But if she's having like some sort of paranoid, schizophrenic, where it's untreated, she could be thinking that, she could have thought that the guy there with the box cutter was working for the FBI, and she was, or something like that, and he was like some type of, I don't know, undercover person, like thinking like, oh wait, are you just trying to be my friend? Like, who knows? If you're paranoid, there's so many things that could go through your head. And the problem is with paranoid schizophrenia, the person often believes what it is that's happening. So if they have a delusion is a false belief, and then a hallucination. So a delusion, is a false belief, and then a hallucination is either visual or auditory. Who knows if she's having auditory or visual hallucinations?
That's what I'm wondering. That's what I was wondering.
Look at this. Isn't this crazy?
Yeah. So this says School of Hard Knocks educators extend a hand to the homeless. And I'll read the article. It says, with no job or home or car and $40 in her pocket, Lori Miranda and her young daughter face the streets of Santa Maria. But rather than feeling hopeless, the mother and daughter team looked at their predicament as an opportunity to begin a new life. Originally living in Orange County. So there was a plea to change their life as an opportunity for a new life. Could that be the motive here? Her leaving for a possibility for a new life? I mean, she ended up going back. So
she went back. So I don't think it's that. But I do think there could be something to her being 9 at the time and the kid being 9. And like her mom leaving from something, because the mom said, there you go, he would follow us everywhere.
Yeah, no, it says that there. Why not?
So she might be paranoid that somebody's following her type thing. I don't know.
So why not walk? It says she accused him of setting her up and working with the dad's family. He did say something about working with the dad's family in his statement.
Wait, who said that?
Apparently, Ashlee accused Tyler of setting her up and working with the dad's family.
You're the one with the box cutter?
Yeah.
Hey, shut up.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen that myself.
I didn't see it either. But if that's the case, though, then we might be dealing with paranoid schizophrenia, you guys.
Well, I mean,
if she's paranoid that he's working with the dad's family, and then that just says
that.
But then that says to me too, let's say this is true, right? Then that says to me that she is paranoid in some sense that he's trying to get to the bottom of something for the dad's family, which tried to get grandparent rights at some point. So could that mean that she was trying to hide her so that this kid couldn't get taken away from her like the first one did?
That's possible, because it goes right here. He says in his statement, I am also in communication with Melodee's father's family. We share the same objective, locating her and ensuring her safety.
Wow. That's interesting. I don't remember that part.
Now,
you know what else?
Just to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I was Ashlee's lawyer, I would go down that road and say that this guy is working for the family. He's lying about the situation. It's a he said, she said. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel like they would have to have something that they were able to arrest her and hold her this long.
Not always. It can be a tactic. Yeah. Yeah. Not always. I mean, you just need probable cause. And this guy's saying these things.
So what would be the tactic though? Just to keep an eye on her?
keep an eye on her. She had some moving
Pressure.
boxes. She was seen getting some moving boxes and putting them into her house. Maybe they're gonna take this as an advantage. There is a saying, and this is gonna sound bad. You can beat the charge, but you won't beat the ride. Right. And in that saying, what that means is like, all right, they may not, and it's probably used in this scenario where like, all right, we're going to do something that's probably not going to stick because it's a he said, she said. He didn't get cut. There's no evidence. There's no video surveillance or anything like that. Right. So it's a he said and a she said situation. And so law enforcement knows that. They know that this is probably not going to go anywhere. What it does is it allows them to arrest her, and if she gets on bond, now if they're doing that and they're allowing and they're going to arrest her based off of just that must say that they have quite a bit of suspicion. I wouldn't say probable cause. Maybe they do have probable cause, but they don't have enough confidence in their case that if they were to make an arrest today on something, that they would be able to get a conviction if she were to go the speedy trial route. So sometimes you do things like this, put her on bond, and then if she bonds out, there's going to be.
You think she's gonna?
I don't know. She could.
She only has to pay $10,000, which is a lot, but I mean, it's $10,000. Like if it's for your freedom, I would assume she would try to do it.
I've seen a lot of people backing her up. I've seen some folks saying, some higher. Bigger channels that are backing her up and stuff. And I've seen that before where people will side with somebody that is suspected of a crime. And then she's not even suspected of a crime in this case. I don't believe she's suspected of a crime that occurred with Tyler, correct? She's not been charged or anything like that in the disappearance of Melodee.
Well, it doesn't mean that they can't suspect her.
Right? No, exactly. That doesn't mean that they don't suspect her, but right now they haven't charged her with anything.
Right.
And so, doing this, if she gets a bail or gets bonded out, there's probably going to be conditions, and those conditions are going to prevent her from like fleeing, things like that. And so I think that's probably the tactic. But you only do that if you are pretty close to being on the verge of making an arrest on something.
That's very interesting. Yeah, that's so
interesting. It wouldn't be good to do something like this, like tactically wise. Now, maybe they do have some evidence. I'm just saying that they may not. It may be a he said, she said. Maybe he recorded the entire scenario on his phone while he was in there. And if he did that, then that's a different story. It's a different story altogether.
Absolutely. And I want to make sure people know, because I did see someone in the comments say about mental illness. Let me be clear about something, because I am a mental health professional. Most people that have mental illness, I have ADHD. That's considered mental illness. I have anxiety diagnosed. That's a mental illness. So I am all for people with mental illness. Most people will never go on to hurt anybody. However, there are some people where, again, if there's psychosis, it doesn't always mean that the person has the same malicious intent as somebody like a Brian Koberger has. For this person, it could be like, look at Andrea Yates. I really believe that Andrea Yates was what we would consider legally insane at the time, where she really thought that she was saving her kids from the devil. She calls her husband and is like, I killed them in time before the devil got them. Like, she thought that she did something good in that case. She had postpartum psychosis and undiagnosed paranoid schizophrenia. So if we're seeing something like that, that very well could play out this way. And it doesn't mean that, she's a bad person, she's going to go kill people like that. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that she could have a paranoid thought and think that she's saving the kid from something that isn't there.
And she could also be easily manipulated, and something else could have happened. Midwest comes in with a gifted Drunk Turkey Show membership. Thank you, Midwest. Good to see you. Good to see you. And Heather in here as well. How's it going, Heather? Heather says it's been reported that she does, in fact, have paranoia, schizophrenia.
She does?
Unmedicated right now, allegedly.
Where'd that come from? I didn't even hear that.
I don't know. Don't know. But if that is true,
did beg to be with her, did beg for help. A lot of people do beg for help, but this one does not beg for help, right? If anything, though, she does start to isolate people. So she winds up cutting off mom. She cuts off her sister. So she starts cutting people off, which is a red flag for me. And that, like to me, that makes me feel like she might be paranoid about something that might not be existent. And then one last thing, real quick, before I forget. I think I already forgot. It'll come back to me. There was something else.
Ashlee Banfield.
Ashlee Banfield.
Interesting.
Well, I didn't see that yet.
So if this is true, and we don't know that this is true, it's alleged, but let's just say it is. If it's true, how much danger do you think Melodee is in right now?
Well, this is the thing, because again, not everyone with paranoid schizophrenia does something, like this. I think if anything, this is like a culmination of a lot of things that came to a head. And I think she lacked the support she needed. The kid hasn't been in school since the August of 24. So I feel like this is all things where she's isolating this child. And I mean, could it be that, again, this kid's going to be 9 years old and she's reliving stuff from her childhood? Who knows? There's just so much here. And I do think that mental illness is playing a role here. I really do. That's what I was going to say. I feel like this is undiagnosed PTSD from when she's 9. Like, who knows if she ever got help for that? Like, I don't know if people understand. Your brain doesn't know the difference between you doing something and somebody else, what you see. So it's like monkey see, monkey do. If I witness you being abused, my brain still processes it as if I'm being abused. So her mom, even if the dad never hit her or, even just watching mom being abused would still change the structure and the function of her brain as that little girl right there. And I think that was her dad too, which I'm sure also adds a layer, right? I think he drank and stuff like that. So, she might have felt bad about that. Like, why doesn't my dad like treat us better? Why is he abusing my mom? I mean, maybe she didn't have all that language, which is even worse. That would make her more emotional because she wouldn't be able to express it. But even if you look at this picture here, like, I just feel like she has like a very sad aura around her.
She does look very sad. Very, very much so. Scratch that point says, detailed, they have a no cash bail in California. Is she a flight risk? I mean, I think there's a possibility of that. She had some moving boxes. I believe she tried to rent out another vehicle. She's rented out a motor vehicle in the past and switched out license plates to try to disguise her ability to, her whereabouts and her location and things of that nature. And so I very much do think that she is very much a flight risk. What do you think, Dr. Bone?
Absolutely. I didn't know she tried to rent a car again. When I said, I forget, I was going to ask, did she try to rent a car again? If she rented a car again, and you said she had boxes, absolutely. That would say to me that she was probably trying to leave, right? And I would think that if she got the opportunity, she might try to do so. So yes, I do think she's a flight risk. But I do think she still got bail, which means that she could still bond out, right? Yeah.
She got $100,000 bond. So she can, and I can see some persons on the interwebs putting in together a donations for her to get out. Wouldn't be the first time. And this goes on. So this article says that Ashlee's father was not only physical but verbally and emotionally abusive, but also abused substances. He would smash our house windows and harass us. To escape, Miranda and Ashlee boarded a bus in June, headed for the 5 cities area. After staying with a relative in the Grover Beach for 1 month, they came to Santa Maria. Wanted to go back to school and get a job, said Miranda, adding that she relied on her former mate to support her. He told me I was nothing and that I'd always be nothing, but I knew I could be something. I used to deal and do drugs, but I got sober and got my GED. The two eventually found their way to the Good Samaritan shelter, and she was able to save up some money to get.
So wait, her mom was into drugs?
Yep, and did it. Yep.
Oh, this little kid. I mean, her as a little kid probably had some trauma of her own, and who knows if she ever had it, if they ever dealt with it in any way.
Yeah,
that sounds terrible.
It does, and like you said, she does seem so sad too.
She looks so sad there. And you have to remember too, like when kids are little, if they hear one parent, if anybody out there ever gets like separated or divorced, even if you can't stand that person, just don't talk bad about them in front of the kid, because the kid realizes that they're half mom and half dad. So if I call dad a piece of shit, right, you're going to feel like a piece of shit too, because you're half dad. So it's like when kids hear their parents bashing the other one, they wind up internalizing it sometimes as if that could be them too, or as if that's an option for them. It just sucks.
Yeah, it does. No, I hear you 100%. You know, you shouldn't be bashing at the other parent, because you're absolutely right. I mean,
do it after you drop the kid off to school, then go home, talk shit with your friends, and then go pick the kid back up.
There you go. Exactly. Let's see. So this is a video that has been released by News Nation. I'm gonna unmute this one, so you may want to mute. And this is a video of Ashlee Buzzard with Melodee Buzzard not too long ago, about a year ago, I think, maybe a little bit longer.
No? What are you? Looking super duper? Yeah. Silly. Ew, gross. Let's see it.
All right, we continue.
So this is just a quick video that I wanted to play of Ashlee Buzzard. There's some community, you know, whoever's holding the phone is actually being the one that's very more communicative or communicating with young
It's
Melodee.
her mom, I think, the grandmom, like her mom, Ashley's mom.
And Melodee, or Ashlee, appears to be just very focused on working on the pumpkin. Anything stand out to you? She's not wearing a wig, it don't appear.
She's not wearing a wig, and the mom said that this is how she remembers her. She said that when, I guess they haven't spoken since around this time. So apparently when she saw her in like the news and with the wigs and stuff, she said she didn't even recognize her as her daughter. So that just says to me, like, that's why this video is so important to me. Not so much that she, you know, clearly is a lot more, like she loses a lot of weight this next year. That's also a big thing. But for me, even more than that is the fact that her own mother said that she's almost recognizable at this point. So she doesn't even look like the person that she used to.
Yeah. No, she doesn't. Let's so they have some more pictures here of her. The little,
She looks just like her dad.
And she's so little. Like all these pictures are when she's a really, really young.
And that picture there looks a lot older.
So this is a map of where she went, and it was on the return trip, which, see, this doesn't even make any sense. Because this shows a trip going this way through to Nebraska, and then on a return trip through Kansas. And it looks like it's going through, what is that, New Mexico, Arizona, and then back through California, when that's not necessarily the route they came back through.
I thought they said that she pinged somewhere down there, and that's why they thought it was weird that she went down a different route.
She went into Kansas, but then she came
back.
I
see.
Yeah, she did go into Kansas, but this shows a return trip that's way out here that, watch, let me.
Oh, so you think she turned around?
Let me see. Is it this one? No, wrong way. No, it's not that one. That's me talking. Hold on. I don't know if I have it saved. Give me a second. I can pull it up.
Yeah, no, you're good. But she did lose a lot of weight from that video. People are noticing.
Oh, 100%. She lost a good amount of weight there.
That makes me wonder if she was getting more attention online and stuff like that, because people said that it didn't look like she had a ton of friends, or, you know, this one person came over and would, you know, stop in to see how she was doing. But I think her sister even tried to go talk to her to find out what's going on, and she like shuts her out too. So like, where was she getting that attention from? Where was she getting the money from? Did she, like, do we know if somebody else was helping her fund this trip?
It's an excellent question. That's an excellent question. Now, this is the return trip home. And as you can see, barely touches Arizona up here in the corner. Doesn't go into New Mexico at all. And it's way over here compared to what News Nation is showing as a return trip.
I saw this one, the one on News Nation, I think. That's why I said earlier that she went up the one way and came back the other.
Yeah.
I wonder. I don't know if they have like different information or like.
Well, I know that the documents. I know that the documents stated that she had that she even went into Kansas at one point, and so I think that's why they're assuming she's, I guess, looping down, but she wasn't there in Kansas.
Somebody makes a good point about her being bipolar. I think she is diagnosed as bipolar as well. What people don't realize is, like, not that they don't realize, but you're more likely to have a comorbid disorder, meaning that if you're diagnosed with one disorder, you're most likely, almost always, diagnosed with a second one. So I think this bipolar thing is real. So what this person's saying, and thank you, Marianne, for sharing that with us, is that she does this so fast that it's very possible she was in a state of mania and was able to fuel her own self, like where she didn't need a lot of sleep or rest or things like that. And she was able to drive a long period of time without sleep. And that is so very possible. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if I said it earlier too, that there's probably bipolar here. So, and again, if she's not medicated and not, that's just not good.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like, you have her GPS from the car, you have the key cycles, and she's driving a long distance, having to be kind of chugging along. Don't you think there'd be some parts of the trip that are going to stand out, like some stops here and there, because of how far she has to travel, how fast, that if any stop of any period of time is going to stand out like a sore thumb? I mean, obviously you're going to cross-reference some of those stops with gas stations and rest stops and food, but it would make I think something kind of stand out if she stopped somewhere else and it wasn't one of those. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe they know something though, and we just don't know that yet. Who knows?
I hope so.
I hope they know something. I really do too.
Now this is
terrible.
This is her tearing down the missing person.
Isn't this in front of her house?
Yeah.
I think her sister said that her sister put one of these signs up. But I think a lot of people were putting them up, but why would someone take them down? Like, do you think her thought process was that people were just trying to single her out or something? I don't know, but why would you take them down?
Well, if in her head she thinks that she saved her and she's okay and she knows where she's at, wouldn't that be a response? Like, she's not missing?
Yeah, it could be that. Or, yeah, it could. I mean, she could. Or she might be thinking that, I don't know. I don't know what she's thinking. I just thought that, that almost makes makes the mental illness thing make even more sense to me. Because I feel like even if you had a personality disorder where you're antisocial type thing, you might have thought about the fact that taking them down is going to make you look bad. So the fact that she still takes them down knowing it's probably going to make her look bad says something to me.
Now, here's the other thing. So let's play some devil advocate on this on the channel, or maybe not so much devil's advocate, but let's look at it from a possible different perspective.
Absolutely.
So the lady that came out that we talked about at the beginning of the show, who was at the gas station saying that she saw somebody and it looked like an older person with Ashlee. Now, we both assume that it's probably somewhere in the middle between her being completely wrong and being completely right, and that she may have actually seen Ashlee. But let's just say that she was completely right, and that the person that she saw was an older person in the vehicle. The surveillance between that's on the Colorado-Utah border, that's, I guess, would be heading in that direction, that I guess confirmed that they have Ashlee on camera or Melodee on camera, is Ashlee and Melodee driving through an intersection. It's an intersection light. I don't know how accurate you're going to be with that identification, looking at a traffic light of somebody inside of a vehicle of a moving car. Does that change possible perspective? Is it possible that maybe perhaps if her intention was to hand off Melodee, leave her somewhere, leave her with someone, leave her with somebody she made up, whatever the case may be, if she did meet, planned something. Maybe she was drawing somebody else back. What do you think about that possibility?
I don't know. It doesn't sit with me that, like, to me, she would have had to meet somebody else that is also thinking they're saving the kids to keep it a secret at this point. Like, I feel like at this point, people know that people are looking for this kid. So I feel like anybody out there that doesn't have this girl for nefarious reasons would be like, oh, here she is. Like, she's with me.
Well, I'm not saying that it's not a nefarious reason. I think she could have been manipulated, but part of the manipulation could have been like, all right, you're going to drop her off and you're going to take, this lady and you're going to drop her off somewhere else.
It's very well possible that, yes, and it's very well possible the kid is still alive. We do have to keep that open possibility and hope, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. That absolutely could be. But I'm just saying what, from somebody who has studied behavior for 2 decades. I'm just saying what I see, but absolutely. And I hope to God this little kid just shows up and is with somebody safe.
I hope so too. Now, one of the things that I think kind of sides in the favor of that is the fact that I'm assuming they haven't found any blood in the car, because I'm assuming that if they did, that would probably change this investigation and allow a lot more search warrants and maybe even arrests and things of that nature for other crimes that aren't what happened on November 7th. And so I'm assuming, given the fact that when she turned in the vehicle, how far she was driving, she may not have had the opportunity, like let's just say Brian Koberger did, to clean the vehicle, where Brian Koberger had the vehicle for 7 weeks at his disposal. That's not the case here.
Maybe she didn't have to, though, because we know that the little girl was in the car. So like you said, if there was no bodily fluids, there would be no reason to fear having evidence of the kid in the car. Where with Brian Koberger, they were looking for any piece of evidence that anyone was in the car and they couldn't find it. So we know the little girl, there should be hair in the car, stuff like that. My thing is,
I'm trying to say is that it appears that given the amount of time that she was driving back and forth, if she did something that resulted in a bloodier scene,
but what if it didn't? What if there's strangulation?
Right, of course, there's other options. But what I'm saying is that the bloodier aspect of it is probably ruled out.
Yes, I agree with that 100%.
Right, because I don't think she would have had enough time, possibly maybe, to clean herself up, make sure that she doesn't transfer anything into the car. So anything resulting in blood is probably ruled out. Strangulation, suffocation, just leaving her somewhere, still on the table, 100% in my opinion. But the something that would result in blood, probably not.
I agree with that 100%. To me, that's not even a thought process. I don't think there is either, because I think they would have found something already. Right.
And so I also I don't know. I don't know if an altercation occurred. Do you think that if there was an altercation between her and there was a strangulation aspect of it, that I would expect there'd be scratches and stuff like that, and possible some kind of transfer of some sort of DNA.
There's always a possibility that somebody else could have done something terrible.
Right. That's true. And so, right now, if I had to put my money in one direction or another, I'm honestly leaning towards that. That maybe she's speaking to somebody that manipulated her, maybe even was aware of what she went through as a child and utilized that situation. Yeah, if they're talking to her, right, and she's isolated herself from people. This might be what you would call the perfect person to manipulate, because she doesn't have family around. She doesn't have anybody else that's going to tell her, hey, this person is manipulating you. This person's, grooming you into doing something you shouldn't be doing, those type of things. Right. So you have somebody isolated on their own, isolated from family, and that's had some possible history, maybe mental health history, and then has a traumatic situation that happened as a child. If somebody starts showing interest in her and she just starts opening up about all these things, they can easily use that against her to manipulate her into dropping off her kid. I think
1000%. She's definitely more vulnerable, but I also think you make a good point about the trauma. She has trauma when she's 9 and up to 9. So it's not even just at 9, because this seemed like this had been going on for a long time. So the mom's finally getting them out of the situation. So
Right.
she has years of seeing this abuse. Then she winds up, I don't know what happens in between there and when she has her kids, but she has the first kid who winds up getting taken away from her. But she doesn't get taken away until after the second daughter is born and after, the death of Melanie's dad. So at 6 months. And after that, it's sometime after that the oldest daughter gets taken from her. And I think the mom does an interview, her mom, and says that when she went over there, that like CPS or whatever told her to come over. And when she came, she saw the house in disarray. And she said that there was like old food in the refrigerator that she was trying to feed the oldest daughter. So that's a trauma there. So I don't know. She just has trauma after trauma after trauma. And I'm not making an excuse for her. I'm just saying that when this goes untreated, that if she was having a hard time and she's not getting that support, if you then add something like psychosis on top of it, there's so many things that can happen.
So many, and not very many of them end up in a good direction. But I hope, I sincerely hope maybe she got in contact with some older lady who doesn't watch the news and has no idea about what's going on, and then she's okay. That's
unfortunately, if she is alive, I unfortunately would. My fear would be is that somebody, like, there is a nefarious reason, so she's still alive, but maybe got taken by a bad person that has her. I don't know, whatever. But I don't see her. In my opinion, unfortunately, I don't think that we're just going to find her at some old lady's house. I hope that, but I don't see that.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope that's the case.
Me too.
I feel like she was very vulnerable and very susceptible to manipulation. And I think that if she was in these chat rooms or on dating sites, because that's how they get them too, the traffickers, they get on the dating sites, they look for single moms, and then they start talking to them, talking about their kids, talking about things.
And they groom both. So like if this is somebody that's trying, like I think like I know people hate the Jen Soto thing, but like Stephen Stearns, that like he looked for Jen's insecurities and her own health, mental illness struggles. And that was an easy in, because then he could come along and act like he's going to save the day, and he winds up doing the worst thing and harming her child. So we could very much be seeing something like that too, where there is manipulation and grooming of some sort. I really feel that we're going back to something where there's undiagnosed mental illness and that she's paranoid about something, and that triggered whatever happened.
Yeah, 100%. Well, you need to watch the movie K-Pax and let me know what you think.
And what was the other one?
Mainly K-Pax. I think it was the only one.
Well, maybe that's the one you said.
It is. It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix now, so go watch it. If you guys watch it, let me know what you guys think about it. I'm a big person into movies. I like sci-fi movies. It'll get your mind thinking. But I'm extremely excited about your opinion about it, Doctor, because it's right up your alley as far as mental health and things of that nature. And so I want to see what your
I appreciate that.
See what your opinions are and my correlation with it.
We're on the same page on this one.
Yeah, mainly on most of them. I think it's just one.
Yeah, it's just the one. I thought I was making a joke because I know you're about to ask me what I'm doing next. And I'm going to let people know that my next thing coming up is going to be viewing your interview.
Yes. Now, it wasn't an interview that was televised. I want to explain.
I unfortunately didn't get to see the episode right before this because I was still on my way home. So I'll probably be reacting to that if we have new Daniel stuff.
Yeah. So there was a lot of allegations and stuff against Daniel. For those that are watching the Jack and Lilly disappearance out of Nova Scotia, Canada. And some evidence came out not evidence, let me put it this way, some allegations from some of Malea's distant family members who are related by marriage had come out and said some things. And I had asked Daniel about those things. One was somebody was accusing him. One was that they were accusing him of strapping the little boy into a car seat upside down in a closet for hours.
Wait, that's very, very specific.
Yeah. And it's very also highly, Go try it. I have a car seat. I guess if you get a bunch of straps and a bunch of things, but the one thing that was weird about that whole situation is apparently, so Daniel lives in like an old trailer, and they knocked down a wall to make the rooms bigger, and the walls that they knocked down were the walls with the closet. So he doesn't even have a closet in his trailer, and so.
I just wonder, like, who makes up that story? That's very specific.
Well, here's the other thing. That same lady said that Malaya had a child that CPS took away that before Lily was born.
Oh, well, then that person
that turned out to be a lie too.
Yeah, then that's not credible.
Yeah, like a lot of the stuff that's when I found out about Jack getting out of the house at Patty's house and going about a quarter mile or so away at 2 years old. Was because I was trying to figure out if that was the case. And what I did find out here recently is that Malaya did have a miscarriage at another point, but that was just medical reasons. And this was before she met Daniel. I think this was before Lily. And so, but nothing like CPS or anything like that. So the credibility there isn't really there. And then I spoke with one of Daniel's friends who has been I guess, under some heat recently because the online community was saying that there was a report of a tip that Malaya and the kids were at his house. And so some people were making up stuff saying that, they're wearing the same clothing that they were wearing during the video at, the day before. And so this was sometime around the time that the kids went missing. And for one, Malaya's phone had all her locations and stuff, and so if she and Daniel went to this guy's house, RCMP would know about it, for one. Number two, when I asked him about it, he said that they did go and speak with him, but that it was after the fact, and that it was a report of Malaya and two kids, or of a lady and two kids at his house, and ended up being family members of his. And that RCMP went and spoke with him. They spoke with his family members, confirmed, and it was a nothing burger.
All right, don't be mad at me, but all I just heard was wah, 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 wah. I don't know what it is, Daniel. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Well, I mean,
if
I don't mean that against you. I mean, like, in other words, like that, like, I feel like why, how does all these accusations, you have accusations like this come out about you?
I mean, if you look at the Idaho case, there was accusations about Steve. There was accusations about, the neighbor. There was accusations about all these people that.
Wasn't that coming from like people online, not from people that they knew?
Right. Well, the online stuff, like, for instance, the tip about Jordan, I think is what his name is, and Malaya. That tip supposedly was that Malaya and the two kids were at his place like a month after the disappearance. So the thing that I wanted to talk to you about on it was that it was just a stupid tip. And they went out there and they clarified who it was. There's a lot of stupid tips like that where people are tipping in, like, for instance, Daniel changing his profile picture and things like that. And the problem with those things, and I just heard of some recent tips that were dropped. The problem with those things are like in the Delphi case with Richard Allen. Richard Allen went and spoke to law enforcement. He ended up being arrested and convicted for the murders of Libby and Abby, and in Delphi, Indiana. And he went and spoke and told law enforcement he was on the bridge wearing the same clothes as a suspect in the video, but his information got buried under a lot of information that ended up being baseless and nothing that was credible or anything like that. A lot of people that were pointing fingers at the family members in that case too. Now, they also had two people that they were highly interested in that I give, they had reason to be, which was Ron Logan and Anthony, not Anthony Schatz. That was his online persona name, Keegan Klein. Now, it took him 5 years to finally go back through all the tips and find Richard Allen's tip that he put in, that he was there. If there wasn't so much baseless stuff, sometimes you won't bury some of the good tips. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but no, I hear you.
Now, I'm not trying to not get people to report things, but like the stupid.
No, I don't think that's what you were doing. I don't think that's what you were doing. I didn't take it that way.
Yeah. It's the dumb things. It's the Oh, he changed his profile picture. What the heck does that mean?
I'm more interested. So I like analyzed your interview with him. There's another one that he does with a woman. It's either around the same time you just did yours, or like it was like one of the like the most recent ones. And I saw parts of it, and I'm just like, what? So I might have to analyze that too. It's like the big things that get to me, Daniel, not the little ones.
You know, there was another case that I was covering, and Heather, she's the one that I was speaking with about it, and she thought very ill about certain people that were involved in it, and my thing was like, two things can be right at the same time.
Absolutely,
those folks can be jerks and a-holes. They
that
also
is so
cannot.
true.
They also cannot have anything involved in the case, and that's kind of where I'm sitting on with Daniel. I don't think he's a very nice boyfriend. I don't think he's like, I wouldn't want, him dating my sister or anything like that. I'd have a problem with it based on the things I'd seen. 100%.
Public service announcement, ladies, don't do it.
But I also don't think he did anything to those kids. I think that the evidence that's there says otherwise. Kind of like you look at this case with Melodee Buzzard, and you look at her actions, her uncooperativeness, the unwillingness, even becoming violent with people when she slips up and says something. Not at all anything what we're seeing with Daniel. He's actually coming out, speaking very cooperative, hasn't lawyered up, took a lie detector test, turned over his phone, let him have his phone for over a week.
But you could also say that if somebody's like narcissistic, that they might also think that they don't need a lawyer because they're not going to need one, because they're going to be able to talk their way out of things. I don't know. I'm not saying that that's what we're seeing there. I mean, that's not exactly. But
there's one thing to think you can get away with, turning in everything and you can outsmart somebody, and another thing to actually turn in everything and then still them not find anything.
Touche, my friend.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how you get caught. That's how you get caught, though. Like, you become the narcissist. That's how they get caught. They get too cocky and they end up saying something. That's
exactly how they get caught.
And so this guy is talking like he can't stop.
It's only been 5 months though, right? Like 5 or 6 months.
Yeah.
It's
But
really
I mean,
not that much time in the grand scheme of things. So let's see what happens.
That's true. That is true. I'm just curious, like, what more can he, outside of him coming out and confessing?
I don't know. I have like this, like, I don't know. I don't know. I remember, do you remember with Brian Koberger, I told you if I ever get a gut feeling again, and I tried to go against it to remind me to stick with my gut. My gut's just saying something. And I'm not saying that like he necessarily did something to them, but something's not right. I don't know.
No, I don't disagree with you. Like I said, like I've told most people that don't like him, I probably agree more with you than anything else. I disagree with a lot of the things that he says, especially when it comes to like Malaya and things of that nature and her possible involvement.
I think he's actually easy to like. Like, I don't think he's that unlikable of a person. He wouldn't be able to get all these other girls and stuff. Like, I think he does have like, so I could see, it's not even that for me. Sometimes I feel bad. Like, I'm like, oh, I hope you're not in the chat right now but like, that doesn't mean that I don't feel like there's something's just not right. And I don't know what it is yet. And again, we've talked about this before. It could be neglect. It could be neurodivergence. It could be many things, or it could be something more nefarious. I just don't know where I am yet with that case. Other cases, I feel like I know right away. That one is still out for me.
Oh, for sure. No, I understand. I get why it is for you and for many others. Just for me, like I said, it's all right. The blueprint, the blueprint's out there in the middle of nowhere. It's all the evidence that he's given to law enforcement, and knowing who he is, right? He's not Brian Koberger, where he's equipped to, hide or, keep things disclosed and still be able to be somewhat cooperative.
But I would say that he has a different personality makeup than Brian Koberger as well.
I agree.
I wouldn't even put them in the same.
And so, to me, and then there's also the whole lie detector test passing it, and not just him passing it, but so is Malaya. And so if it was just him that passed it, Malaya didn't take it, or or if Malaya didn't cooperate what he said. So if like Malaya said that I didn't hear the kids until, you know, the night
I feel
before.
like he like loves to hurt her. I don't know that part. I don't know.
I can see your point there. I can see your point there.
There's just something ick with me. I don't know.
When are you going to do that show? I'm going to be in the live show.
Maybe Thursday.
Great.
Probably
Thursdays are my
Thursday.
days off. I'll be there. I'll be there. If it's not at the time that I am
I usually try to go around. We usually figure it out.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't usually go in the same time.
Are they still thinking Daniel has something to do with the kids? Well, RCMP doesn't, but a lot of other people do. And so RCMP is law enforcement. They really don't. What do you think about this real quick? One last question.
Yeah.
Because I honestly don't like it, but it is what it is. RCMP is like giving them information, them being Daniel and other folks, information about tips that they're getting. Now, I'm sure that's just like the bogus one about like him changing his profile picture and stuff, but they're actually telling him like, hey, this specific person reported a tip against you.
Could that be a tactic?
It could be. Supposedly
Like
Belinda's
maybe
lawyer. Yeah, but Belinda's
if
lawyer.
I'm like, if somebody's like, Daniel said this about you, and I might be like, oh, well, guess what? That like maybe I might say something.
Right, but it's Belinda's lawyer.
Wait, it's a lawyer that supposedly said it?
Belinda's lawyer. Belinda's the paternal grandmother, the biological paternal grandmother, who's fighting for like custody of Jack and Lily now.
I need to watch your video.
Yeah, she hired a lawyer that's working pro bono for her, and they're trying to. I guess she's trying to be the primary custodial parent, something of that nature. There's a lot of controversy behind that too, because I guess she put up I guess asking for donations for it, and so now there's like, oh, well, she's only doing this for money and all this other stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of family drama in that case. A lot of family drama.
To say the
least. So much. Well, I'll be looking forward to that, Dr. Vona.
What are you doing next?
I'll be back on probably tomorrow night. More than likely.
Be in
not
chat.
sure. So I'll be back on tomorrow night. I think actually there's going to be, I think there's an arraignment tomorrow on Ashlee Buzzard for this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for this. I think there's a hearing.
Tomorrow's Wednesday.
Yeah, I think there's a hearing tomorrow on Ashlee Buzzard for the felony complaint of false imprisonment against Tyler Brewer. So I'll probably be covering that tomorrow night.
Oh, definitely.
Y'all guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Go check out Dr. Vona on the Minds Behind True Crime with Dr. Vona.
And go check out Drunkturkeyshow. There you go.
Yes, ma'am. Until next time, guys, we'll see y'all later. Peace out.
Thank you, everyone.